Hello and welcome to another episode of Colivers Club by Melon. Today we have Theo, Villard, which is a nomad friend I met in Coliving, my first Coliving, 4 years ago more or less. And he has a blog where he talks about digital nomadism and also crypto things. And he was also looking to crowdfund a Coliving with crypto and has been to like 15 plus Colivings. So I hope you guys get a lot of interesting things from him in this interview.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Colivers Club. Today I'm joined by Theo. Hello Theo.
Hey.
Well, Theo likes to build stuff and crypto,
Okay.
more or less.
Fair enough.
That will be a good introduction. And you also share your views in beautiful writing in your blog post. And yeah, you've been nomading for quite a while. You were in charge of a company, then took a sabbatical, and now you are an employee again. It's been quite a ride, right?
True.
How are you feeling?
Hi.
My first question, because also I saw that in your introduction and in your LinkedIn and Twitter and website, because I stalked you a lot for this interview. You say that you're a minimalist nomad, and I wanted to know more about that. What makes you a minimalist nomad?
Well, it used to be a joke. During COVID, I was very bored, and I did try to count how many items were in my suitcase, and somehow I reached 99. So it became like, I wrote this article. I've got 99 items, and yeah, and I was already like in this mood of removing stuff or keeping only the essential. And yeah, so yeah, I call myself a minimalist. I know that some people feel like, they don't like, they make them a bit upset somehow. I don't know why, but like, yeah, minimalism is just about removing what's not like the Marie Kondo stuff, removing what's not bringing you joy somehow, or like what's not essential for you, but doesn't mean you have to have like only one t-shirt or but yeah. But in my case, I don't have many items. Now I don't know how many items I have now, but not a lot. But yeah, and so yeah, it used to be my tagline, minimalist nomad. It's still my tagline because that's what it's a good way to describe what I'm doing. I'm a nomad, and I just have a suitcase and a backpack and some stuff at my parents'.
Of course, that's universal locker space for nomads. Things at your parents.
Cannot be perfect, If you're too perfect, it's weird. But the trick is that actually the things at my parents, I don't own them. I just rent them from them. So my skis, they belong to my parents. I just borrow them.
Okay.
For free.
Well, okay, nice.
Yeah, that's the trick. So I don't have to. Yeah.
Is this a service that can be used by other nomads or only by their children?
It looks like it's only in my name.
No. Yeah, I went through a process last year where I sold almost everything I owned. Yeah, and it was so liberating. And I have a Notion where I keep track of my essentials and the things I travel with. And I really like the idea. I have 5 t-shirts, and the t-shirts that I own now are super high quality. I love it, And before I used to have like 20 t-shirts, and like I always wear the same 5.
Anyways,
Anyway, so and yeah, it's just a matter of choosing quality over quantity.
What made you sell everything? Like you were about to travel?
Yeah, I was renting an apartment. It was too big, and it was like, okay, but a few years ago I went to Coliving, and something switched. I was like, oh, I want to pursue this for a while. So I sold everything I owned with the idea of moving to Tenerife, and from there establishing a base, and then traveling to other Coliving, which is what I did. So yeah, for me it was important to have fewer things. But the idea stayed with me, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's easier like to remove stuff when you traveling, moving out, breaking up with someone.
Yeah.
Always
We don't recommend people to break up with somebody in order to become a minimalist. That's not.
When I left Paris, I think I left like so many clothes in the basement of my ex, and I never picked it up. So, but there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, gone, but it's better.
Yeah, but I think it's a good pursuit, minimalism and sustainability. I think there's also some parallelism. Like, we don't need so many things.
You consume less. Like, I don't buy things, physical things. I don't have Amazon, for instance. And when I buy something, like you said, I buy like super high quality stuff, or just fancy shirts. This is my new one. It's actually not high quality, but yeah. Anyway, but I guess more and more people are doing this. Like, I say more and more, but at the same time, you have like things like Shein or Temu, which like, it's a new trend also. Like, so you have some people going crazy on the consumption side, but you see also like people maybe like more like us, like preferring to buy less but better.
Yeah, I think it's also a common trend in Colivings, right?
Yeah.
I think we share very similar ideas to other Colivers.
Yeah, that's why we live in a bubble, so it's hard to maybe to tell what's happening outside. But
sometimes, yes.
Yeah, hopefully at some point people will realize that quality over quantity is
absolutely
often better. Yeah.
And I mentioned in your introduction that you took a sabbatical. Well, you took several sabbaticals, no? Because after 1 year, it adds up, no?
Yes.
What happened there?
Yeah. Actually, it's like it's a recommendation. Never take only 1 year, or at least take 2 years sabbatical. Because if you take only 1 year, after 6 months, you're gonna be thinking about your next move. If you take 2 years, you can actually have a full year. Not like, because it takes time to switch, to stop your mind. Like, even if you want to switch career, and it takes a long time. But yeah, I used to have my own startup in crypto, and as it happens often, I fell out with my co-founder, and it was a very painful decision in the months of March 2021. But I left the company and got some money from that, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on my own things. Yeah, it was like not my midlife, hopefully, but my 30 years old crisis, 30s crisis. I don't know. Bought a car, started traveling in Europe, and exploring some topics that, like, when you have a job, or you like, especially when it's your startup, you're super focused on that, so you don't have time to really dive deeper in other topics. And it could be any topics, but basically being like, okay, I want to research this thing, I want to know a lot more. It takes time, and so I read a lot, which is amazing, which I'm not doing now, for instance. And I did some small projects here and there, like experimenting with technologies. I had a big research project that I started also that year. So that was like kind of first year. And also start, maybe we're going to talk about that, the crypto-coliving idea. I started that. Then the second year sabbatical, I kind of tried to switch career to being like going to security, like not cyber security, but crypto audits, like doing security audits and other things. And the third year, I can't remember what happened, but I think I was still doing that and experimenting again with some small things. I got obsessed with the idea of reinventing the toilets.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time on that, and I mean, it takes time, and yes, I tried things, I failed, but I'm glad that I'm glad that I had the opportunity, and I had a good life. And now, after 3 years, I was like, I missed having a team. Needed a bit more money.
Of course.
Sometimes. And so I had an opportunity to join a good project again. So I was like, okay, let's try it. And but yeah, it's different. Obviously, like to have to show up 5 days a week. It's a bit weird. We can talk about that later,
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, because sometimes in Colivings I see quite often people taking sabbatical. So apart from the recommendation of taking more than 1 year,
Yes.
what would you recommend them?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like in Colivings, you usually you go to Colivings and then you're like, oh, I want to quit my job, right?
Every Coliving has one person like this.
Yeah, because you have people like being like how do you say, like prioritizing life
For work.
or work, and so maybe you get inspired, like thinking, oh, that was also one thing I realized long time ago, thanks to the co-living life, that time, whatever you're doing, whatever, like no matter the amount of money you have, time is the most valuable asset. Time,
Of course. Yeah.
and so you have to make sure to spend your time very very wisely, like, or yeah, you have to be very deliberate with your time. So yeah, maybe like when you go to Colivings, you get inspired. And what was your question?
Yeah, the recommendations for people taking more than
Mm.
taking a sabbatical.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess recommendation maybe is to try Colivings.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then be careful that you might actually enjoy it
Too much.
too much, and also you might end up changing your current setup with work, or which is
It's
also a
good.
good thing.
I mean, it makes you question what you want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And to me, that's an important question to ask myself. What do I want?
True, but we can say also that ignorance is bliss, like
Not knowing that there's a possibility is like, oh, yeah.
I think I have some friends that are super happy in the normal traditional life, a job, a car, a wife, kids, a house, and they're not unhappy. I think they're happy, and they don't really think about. They don't see an option, and they don't really ask themselves too many questions, and maybe that's.
But I see that as a double-edged sword, right? Maybe in the future, the 10 years go by, and they're like, what did I do? Like, and then you start having some regrets and some. But I think every decision you make needs to come from acceptance. That okay, if I choose this path, I'm deliberate, I'm intentional, and I accept, and that's it.
Yeah, you can be like, yeah, I accept this.
Yeah,
it's my life. I have 2 kids.
I have 2 kids. I cannot undo them.
Okay, I have to wait at least 20 years before I can have a life again. Yeah. Yeah, I accept that. Yeah, I guess acceptance. Yeah, or ignorance.
Ignorance. We go with ignorance. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned as well, like if you go to Colivings, you might change your current setup, or maybe even you want to build your own coliving.
I think it's happening all the time, right? I tried it. I think you want to do it as well.
At some point, yes.
At some point I would go to Colivings, and like there's always one person being like, oh, I want to start a coliving. And in reality, it's very hard. It's very hard to start a good coliving, and so it unfortunately doesn't happen that much. But yeah, a lot of people they see this new life and they're like, oh wow, this is like amazing, and I want to have my own, or I want to create something like this, and I wanted to do that as well. But yeah, we can talk about it later. But it's difficult.
Yeah, because you wanted to build a coliving. Yeah, the main idea was to use crypto.
Yeah.
And mix it with coliving, and I'm very interested in this.
Yeah.
If you want to explain.
Yeah, okay, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, the project was crypto-coliving. I think you can still find the web page online.
Is the website? What was it?
crypto-coliving.xyz.
Yeah,
I think it's still up and running because it was a beautiful website. So
it is. I saw it. Very good.
I didn't do the design, but yeah. So yeah, the idea was to. So I think my view is that a good co-living is not like it's a business, but it's never going to be like a $1 billion business. A good co-living has to be something. It's not a money-making business, right? It's more like a mission-driven business or whatever. So I think it's very well suited for non-profit or something in that spirit of, you know, it's not about making money, it's about and like
connecting people.
living a different life. But then you don't want to end up in this kind of utopian thinking, and then you create like these communities, and it always falls apart because people are fighting, whatever. So you need still a business kind of, you need an entity controlling the co-living. But yeah, so crypto-coliving, this idea of basically using crypto but in a non bullshit way. So just like you need to be a member, and a member is just a membership, like a member of an association. It was actually in Spain, so it's like, I think in Spain it's called Asociación Sin Ánimo de Lucro.
Yeah.
So you become a member, and as a member you can actually book this co-living, and just instead of paying with paying on, let's say, on the old school payment rates, you would pay with crypto, and then you would your membership would be like a nice NFT, like made by a friend who's an artist. What is thing? Also, like the important part would be around governance, so that nobody owns the co-living, but it's like you have to vote on everything.
Oh wow!
And you vote in not using. Also, the idea was to experiment, like not using one person, one vote, but using like a quadratic voting. I know it's like this idea of if you really care about something, maybe. So in the end, like let's say every year everybody get like 1,000 votes, but they can decide to put, I want to put 500 votes on this thing. For instance, for me, it would be like change the toilet.
Oh yeah.
I would put all my votes on this. But maybe some people, they care a lot about something else. So it's like this idea of quadratic voting. But yeah, that was, so mixing like real life use case for crypto with a co-living, and this idea of governance, especially like so managed by the community, but still having someone in charge who can, you know, can actually kick someone out if someone is like not behaving properly, or and yeah, it was in Granada, Spain. Beautiful house. So
did you manage to? The house was there, right? Did you?
Yeah, we visited the house. We had like the budget. We started like doing this launch. The basic, it was like NFT launch, but we needed like at least 3 million to buy the house.
3 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Buy the house, renovate it. It was a big house in the center of Granada, so yeah, expensive. And this was at the moment the crypto market was kind of like already a bit shaky, and other things, other reasons, but yeah, it didn't work out. I think I wrote a postmortem about it on my blog, and yeah, so the idea is dead. There were after that a lot of people like contacted me because they were like keen to try something similar, but as far as I know, like it's not yet a thing. There are some crypto communities doing, it's called Zuzalu. Actually, they're going to be in Chiang Mai for 1 month in November, like at Chiang Mai.
Okay.
They booked the entire thing.
Nice.
So it's more like pop-up crypto thing with like their own community, own like economy, you know, like.
That's cool because it's a good way of testing the waters, right?
Exactly,
Before
exactly.
having to commit to a place and
like I'm doing a pop-up, and you have like, maybe if you can find like something that's already a co-living can accommodate for, maybe the way we tried it was maybe too much of like too big at once, like too many miracles needed to make
happen.
it.
So what was the main overview of why it failed, you think? I will put the link to the postmortem so you get more views on your blog post.
Let me remember.
But if you can give us a little bit of why you think failed.
I think it boils down to this thing. I wanted to be like kind of a side project, but in the end it was like a real like big thing. And I was already like working basically, you know, my entire time on it, but it would have required like a team, basically startup vibe, you know, building something, like finding people to be part of it, and yeah, and maybe the market was still not big enough for people to be, because it wasn't about making money, it was about doing something cool. So
Granada.
But you need people to be excited about something that's not about making money, you know, and unfortunately in crypto,
if you didn't do it with crypto, do you think it would have succeeded or not?
No, I think it's maybe, I don't know, like same. I think it would have required more energy from the team, like more time, basically, like finding, like creating the story around it and just running it as more as a normal business at the beginning and then turning it into a community. But yeah, it just yeah, it was a big thing. So yeah.
And the people will need to pay in crypto. There will be other choices or no?
It will be in crypto, but like, so when I say crypto, it's euro crypto, for instance. So I can now pay you in euros, but it's actually these euros. They, instead of being in a bank, they're in my wallet, but they are still euros.
So because I was when I think about crypto, I think that the level of entry is very high.
Yeah, yeah.
So how would you have accommodated people that are not crypto friendly or?
Yeah, but so now, now when I say crypto, is like basically now I can give you an IBAN, and I say send me euros on this IBAN. And actually, when you send me euros, it gets converted to crypto. So it's like now there's very easy conversion between crypto and the we call it the fiat world. So it's like the normal or the old banking system. Yes, it's actually very easy now, and it's regulated. It's not like, some kind of shady thing. Is so for instance, this company in Iceland, they have an e-money license, so they can emit money the same way like when you put money on Revolut. It's not euros anymore. It's Revolut euros, right? They don't exist like physically, right? But Revolut has a license, so they can actually emit money. They can say, okay, that you can have a wallet, you can have an account saying you have euros, but it can be crypto behind the scene, and that's basically now what's happening, and also what I'm working on at the moment. And so all this world of like, it's called stable coins. So it's like crypto, but pegged to euros, dollars.
Yeah, they're tied to.
And and maybe, I don't know, maybe for some people it's the first time they hear about it, but it's already like trillion dollar per year, more than trillions per year, like already settled with this. And big companies like actually the banks, unfortunately, and Visa, they're already using this to settle because it's like instant. And yeah, the old banking system is obviously fucked because it was built. It was built in the 60s with Fortran
and COBOL, these things.
Exactly. So yeah, it's not efficient. So
yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very interesting idea, and the idea of governance is super cool. Yeah, because I mean, I think Colivings are community oriented for sure, but they are dictatorships, no? At the end of the day,
yes.
There's the owner, and they choose everything. But I think they tend to listen to the Colivers. So I'm wondering also what will be the dynamics of this idea of really choosing together, because you will need a lot of politics. Maybe you want to change the toilets, but maybe I don't. So we need to convince the others not to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why you can vote, and then you have to accept, I guess, acceptance. If,
Acceptance.
If you cannot make it work, if your vote doesn't, if it doesn't go through, but then you have to accept. But even in this governance thing, I would still have like a manager of the place, right? So every year or you elect someone who's in charge and can actually enforce rules and also like be in charge.
And this person will get paid as a manager.
Exactly. Oh. Yeah. So like directly getting paid, automatically getting paid from the treasury of the Coliving.
And from the crypto, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's be like so transparent, everything
open,
auditable, open, no secrets. Yeah. Let's see, maybe for your next Coliving, we can chat.
Yeah, we can chat now. For me, it will take a few years still.
Yeah. Where do you want to do your Coliving?
I would love to do it in Madrid, which is my home city, but in the outskirts. I'm thinking about El Escorial or maybe Toledo. So in the outskirts, but it's very accessible to Madrid, and but yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yeah, like you don't want to do it in a big city, like.
Yeah, I think it never
works.
It's just because you need a big space, right?
You need a big space, and you need like. You kind of want people to be stuck together.
Yeah, you want to force them.
Be like you have nothing else to do than to
connect
with.
Yeah, also money-wise makes sense, no?
Yeah, money-wise.
It's just
In Madrid now, I cannot imagine. Like,
it's impossible.
imagine this property.
No way. So we talked about getting burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
I see also a lot of people in Colivings
Yeah.
that are in the process of being burnt out, and they use Colivings as maybe as an escape.
Yeah.
Or they were burnt out and they're using Colivings as a way to heal. So what can you tell us about your process?
True. Yeah, in my case, it was not officially a burnout, just yeah, I was working too much because of my own startup, and I was working a lot, and my mind was always on this. And then I think it was after the summer 2020, and I had these moments where I would feel like so bad, but it's physically, but not like, I don't know, I cannot explain, not like physical pain, more like, when you feel like super stressed, but to the point that you're
tense.
You can't breathe. You go outside, you walk, and you don't feel good. It's just like,
and you're not living in the moment, right? You are
you're
like
just
in the future, which is stress, or in the past, which is anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not in the moment, and it's just painful. So this time, I don't know, like I was listening to podcasts at this time just to chill, and there was this podcast about the 4-day work week. So this idea of you, instead of working 5 days, you work 4 days. It's like, and and the guy was saying, yeah, basically because you work less, you're happier, and you're happier, you work better, so you're more productive, so you work better, and so it's like this circle. And so I was like, okay, wow, let's try it at my company, because it's my own company, so I can try things. And that's why it started to go down with my co-founder, because it's silly, because this guy is like my same age as mine, but he was like, no, I don't want us to work only 4 days. I'm like, man, it's stupid. Like, why? Like
4 days, but the same hours.
Yeah.
No. Like you put 10 hours.
Yeah, but in the end, it's your own company, so you can decide things. And in the past, we used to work 6 days a week, so not why.
Yeah,
why
it
not?
hasn't changed in 100 years, right? I think.
The 5 days?
Yeah.
Okay, but before it was even worse. Before it was worse, so it's like random decision. It could be 4, could be 3, whatever. And so the idea would be to work 4 days, but everybody's getting paid 5, and that's it. Like, and the idea is actually, in the end, as a business, it's better. We did experiment that the following, like, January, February. For me it was like amazing, basically, because I was working Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday off, and Thursday, Friday.
Right, so you have a middle.
It's so good. Yeah. Actually, today, it's Wednesday. I'm off.
Ah, you're doing 4 days a week?
I'm doing just like this summer. I'm taking the Wednesdays off.
Ah, okay.
And for me, it's like so good. It brings, like, I know it's a good balance. You don't have this feeling of waking up every day and doing the same thing. It's just killing me. So you have this thing in between. You can do
like a soft reset.
Yeah, it's a reset. It's like starting. Yeah. Then you show up on Thursday and you're fresh again. So yeah. So that was one thing I wanted to try. And my co-founder, we had an argument. We had like different views on that. And yeah, when it comes to burnout, I see a lot of people also after or in a process of burnout at Colivings. But yeah.
What did you do to fix it?
Just chill.
Just chill. Okay.
That's
people, if you're burnt out, just chill.
It's a recommendation from Sylvia from 9.
Ah, yeah. Oh.
She was like, just chill.
Just chill. But it's true. It's like you need to, because I feel like our minds are prepared to see stress as a life-threatening. Everything is life-threatening in our mind, but it's not really. Like, if you get, nowadays we're safe, and you need to tell yourself, I'm safe. Yeah. Like, every idea of my work or the stress I get from work, I'm safe. Nothing is going to happen to me physically. I'm safe.
Sure.
So
yeah, nothing's gonna happen, and also nothing matters really. So
Yeah, everything's pointless, no?
Everything's pointless. You just look at the stars, you're like,
We are in a giant rock floating around space.
yeah. So yeah, nobody cares about your
Yeah.
our problems are insignificant.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but to me, because I was in the same process
Mhm.
a little bit ago, and I think to me meditation helped me anchor myself in the present moment, because I felt like for the longest time I wasn't really living in the present moment.
Okay.
I was physically there, but mentally I was somewhere else. So, and so I visualized myself as the Cesar was like floating around, and there's the physical Cesar, which was like working or whatever, like with this stress and this tension, and
You were already like you were always
always
constantly
somewhere.
stressed.
Yeah. And then I try to bring this Cesar to myself, and then it's like, okay, I'm safe, I'm chill. And it changes everything. But for sure, I think in IT especially, there's a lot of burnout. I wonder why.
In IT?
Yeah. You have a background in IT, right? You're a developer.
But developers, I don't know, because also developers they kind of like they can behave like princesses, no? Like sometimes they don't do much, and they chill, and they don't have a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
It depends.
true.
Like but if you put the lot, I don't know what was your position. You were maybe like you were more at a higher position, and then you have more stress.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
But if you're a developer at the bottom of the chain, it's very chill. I think it's very.
Yeah, it depends in the type of personality, because I think I'm easily obsessed with doing things in a perfectionist way.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Perfectionism is a
it's
mind killer.
oh yeah. You need to kill the mind, because
Yeah.
the mind kills you.
Uh,
But yeah, I think also I see it because when I go to Colivings, I see a lot of people that are smart, and they really are perfectionists as well, and maybe that's why there's a correlation of people here that are also getting burnt out, and yeah, it's hard to deal with, but also therapy helps a lot. For sure, I would
But did
recommend.
you start like going to Colivings after kind of your burnout, or
I was in the process of being burnt out, and I went through a breakup, of course. So I was like, oh, I never traveled alone. Let me go to this place somebody told me about, Coliving. And I was like, wow. And I remember going, after being there a month, I came back home and I was like, oh, I feel energized, but I've been working and I've actually put more hours even. So it was like a nice, interesting feeling. So yeah, I think this marked a moment where I would start looking more inward and be introspective and see, oh, I need this. There's this other thing that is preventing me from being in the moment. I think being eco-living makes me appreciate more living in the moment.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's what I was. My first, my first thought about co-living was like, oh, we all live in a moment.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you with people in a house, or you're having fun or whatever, and yeah, it's just you're just in the current, yeah.
Yeah, you need to go with the flow.
The eternal now.
Yeah. But there's challenges, the FOMO, right? There's so many things going on that you have fear of, and to me at the beginning it was challenging as well. I don't know if for you it's the same.
Yeah, I'm with FOMO. I'm good. I'm actually enjoying missing out sometimes. But yeah, when you join a new co-living, you want to join activities. Otherwise, there's no point. And also, that's how you create connections and memories with activities. But something I don't like to do, I am not joining. Some things I don't like.
Yeah, it also depends on the co-livings, right? Because I think the word is being misused a lot. So if you want a list of curated co-livings, please check out Mapmelon. They are the sponsor of this podcast.
Are you a remote worker or digital nomad looking for the perfect co-living experience? Meet Mapmelon, your all-in-one platform for booking community-focused co-livings with exclusive deals and promotions. With co-livings all around the world, Mapmelon offers a lot of options for every budget and lifestyle. You can also track your friends' plans and share your own, and never miss out on an opportunity to reconnect. And finally, you can also stay up to date with the latest events, workshops, and job opportunities in the co-living community. So sign up today discover your next co-living, and join a global network of Colivers.
Promotion done.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but absolutely, because
so many people are using the word Colivings
for just the sake of, oh, it's trendy.
It's just a shared, but they're completely misusing the word. But there's no, you cannot trademark a word, like there's no point anywhere. But a co-living is not just sharing a house.
Yeah,
it's like living together. Yeah,
absolutely. That's the name.
Oh shit!
Oh no. And yeah, we have the ideas of co-livings, and we have now the ideas of co-villages. You have opinions about this, and I want also to explain to us and the audience about the toilets, but we will talk about this later.
Toilets is more important, but
okay.
Yeah, co-villages. I think it was last year, and I wrote this. I was here actually. I wrote this article about the nomad life, and
we're here in Burgas Coliving, by the way.
In Burgas Coliving,
which is amazing. You should definitely check it out.
Very good place. And in this article, sorry, I thought about what could be the end game, like for someone like me, like I'm basically going from co-livings to co-livings, and but maybe in long term, having some kind of not a base, but somewhere I can stay even longer. Because a co-living, I think you don't want to. Some people do that, but it's weird. Like you don't want to spend 6 months at the same co-living. 6 months is a long time, and your energy is gonna go down. It's not gonna be. I don't know. It's not gonna work that well. So I wrote this article, and I imagined these co-villages, and somehow this article was my, I think, most popular article ever in my life.
Oh wow!
Like to the point, like people were sharing it. Like I didn't ask people to share. Usually I write an article and people are like, yeah.
Yeah, I shared it as well, so
See?
you get a commission, right? How many views it got?
I'm not tracking views, but it's like the amount of people like resharing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So somehow it resonated a lot with people, and it's like, because in the end it's this idea of how do you decide to live your life, like why are you living in a flat alone in a big city? Why,
And even if you're living alone, you have a lot of neighbors who you will never meet, you will never have interactions with, and they're just there, and they might be very interesting people that align with your values, and it's like no access to that.
I mean, everybody, like when you live in a big city, just surrounded by strangers.
Because we choose to keep them as strangers.
Yeah.
So I wonder why.
Yeah, we have so that was my point in the article. Like we seem to be seeking privacy. We think we want to be alone in our own flat.
And own,
private, locking the doors. But then in the end, you end up super alone, and it's depressing. So yeah, big surprise. Maybe villages is a good way to live. So the idea of co-village is just maybe still having a co-living, but around the co-living you have small houses, or like houses, people living longer term around the co-living. So they can still participate in the co-living activities, but maybe less intensely. I mean, it's not a new idea, but and you see that happening first at 9. You have a lot of people who stayed around 9. I mean, Puerto on the island.
I was one of those people.
You were one of these people. And at Cloud Citadel, it's the same. Like people, they now live in Briançon. So it makes sense, because then you have you have a community, and because you don't want to move alone to a village in the mountains, or
in the middle of nowhere,
or in Tenerife. But then if you have you start to have a community, and it feels much better. But yeah, so the co-village was this idea of somewhere having a co-living, and around that co-living small houses that maybe you can actually stay 6 months per year, but it will be still managed by someone, so you don't have, so the community is still managed. You don't want to leave it completely self-organized, because it's harder to make it work. And I forgot my other points, but that's
they were very good points.
They were very good points, and I generated some images with AI, and the villages look
It's very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I also see there's some challenges when you have an established co-living, and of course people want to participate in the co-living life with this co-living, right? But there's also the question that there are people living there and maybe they are not really keen on letting these other people that are living around, but they are not living in the co-living. So they're like kind of a stranger. So as a owner of a co-living or manager, how do you balance? Because you don't want to let, oh yeah, everybody from the town or that I know, they can go in the co-living, like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's like when you're in co-living, it's like this group, and anyone from the outside, you're always a bit like.
Yeah. This, for example, in Tertulia, Francesco refers to this as the diffuse community, which is like around.
Around, okay.
But there needs to be some rules, no, or some.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it cannot just be like random. It has to be like organized, and so the spaces as well has to be organized. Maybe it's like there's a one space which is like co-working space for everyone, you know. So like you can, or better, a nice co-working space, not just this, you know, like a living space.
Yeah, and the living facilities
so
for the co-living.
So you can actually have people like joining and spend time with them. Just they don't have access to the bedrooms and all these parts.
How will you organize it? Like any.
Yeah, I would start like this, like separating a bit, but still having these two groups of people like mixing, but also limiting limiting the number of people and yeah.
And what about the activities, for example? Because here, for example, we have in Burgas Co-living, we have family meetings, family dinners, and then we set the schedule for the week.
Yeah.
There's some activities that are done in the co-living. For example, tonight we have arts and crafts, but there are some that are done outside, right? Like party or things. Would you limit this diffuse community to outside activities, or you will have some?
I mean, it's very good question also, because family meeting, I mean, for me, good co-living, if you don't have a family meeting, it's not like, it's harder. Like, it's how can you organize a house if you don't have a moment like to sit down and just plan? So yeah, you want that, but if you cannot do that if you have like more people outside, or you just limit the number of people outside living in like long-term co-living, and maybe these people they don't have to join all the time. They can join if they want. So maybe they can join the family meeting, but they don't have to, and they can join the activities, but you know, they don't have to join all the activities. And I think there's some things to be tested. Yeah, this was also like this idea of maybe people want to raise a family, have kids, so they can live, but you don't want people with kids inside the co-living. Would be terrible. You know, next door, like we're trying to sleep now. But maybe they live actually in a small house nearby, and they can, so they have the different life, but they can still join activities when they want, and they can, they can still be part of a community. And for them, I guess it's much better than
I think a place like this, a co-village where kids are living with their families, is so good for the children, right? They get this international community, they can learn languages, and if you have multiple co-villages around the world, you can travel to these co-villages. That's
and
the
also
life.
like, I guess if you have like different people having the same life, you can also
travel together.
You have this idea of a tribe, no? Like then the kids are raised not just by
parents,
but more like the tribe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think after all, we are capitalist hippies, right?
Capitalist hippies, are we?
Or no, how do you describe yourself? Are you more into the...
How do I describe myself?
Next question.
I don't know, but yeah, no, hippies, something hippie.
Yeah, because when I tell people that I like the co-living and living community, they tell me, you are very hippie, and I don't necessarily, I understand maybe why they have this prejudice, because I think there's also some loaded...
For me, I don't like hippie because sounds like we're not taking showers.
No, we are, not together, separately. Oh, I'm going back to the
go back.
bathroom. Toilets. We need to learn more about this.
Toilets. We still on.
Yeah, a little bit of time, but this is very important. So if we have to do it for 1 hour more, the podcast, in order to talk about this, we will do it.
Toilets, man. Toilets are so bad. That's shitty. Yeah. I mean, especially, I don't know, like, so do you want me to talk about toilets?
Yeah, go for it, man.
I'm just gonna try to make it short, but basically, what's wrong with toilets? And so I came up with this list of the seven sins of toilets, and you probably agree with that. You know, it's like, what's wrong? Okay, the sound, the smell, the splash, the stains, the position, the flush, and the worst of all, toilet paper. Toilet paper is the biggest scam of the
universe.
Of the universe. Yeah, it's like we used to have bidet, and we know it's better. But then bidet got kicked out. In Asia, they're still using they have bum guns, they have bidet. It's great, you know, like. So everything is wrong about toilets, and we wasting a lot of time on toilets, especially guys. So when for girls it's also like a thing, but like I notice for guys it's even bigger thing. So we waste so much time on just
cleaning,
wiping our butts, which is insane. You know, we try to optimize it. No, you know, people are optimizing things. We have like, I don't know, better, faster things, but in the end we still like wipe our butts like the pharaohs were doing it in Egypt with papyrus. So I'm not saying modernity is always the answer, but in that case, like, something has to be done. So my point was like to try to reinvent toilets from scratch, just like.
So you designed
a toilet? Yeah, in the process of that, like I would need now to find a studio to make a prototype. So
oh wow! So you're serious about this?
Like at some point I thought like maybe it's my
life goal,
my biggest contribution to humanity. Like I can do, but then I joined another crypto wallet.
You could have been one or the other, right?
Yeah, exactly. But also I'm not a like a industrial designer. So I don't know much about that. But
well, maybe this is an opportunity for you to gather a team and from the podcast listeners.
Yeah, if you're into toilets. So that's why it's interesting, because nobody cares about toilets, right? It's like, I think it's
I think we take them for granted. Yeah, it's like it's in front of status quo.
It's in front of us. It's like doors. Nobody cares about doors, you know, not that much. Like, but then in the end, it's like these basic things that are everywhere, and they can be like, some things are bad about them. I don't know. I have nothing against doors, but toilets for sure, like.
And without getting too much into details about what will be your design, because you have you patented?
No. Oh, okay. Probably no patent. I want everybody to.
Okay.
To have no
so maybe you can share an overview of what will be the design, because I'm very curious about this.
I mean, it's just obviously there's gonna be water. It's gonna be no toilet paper, or just maybe a little bit. The position, so the seat would incline when you sit on it, because
so you squat like.
So you squat, but not without squatting.
So it will need to be lower.
So you sit and then it goes down like automatically.
It has an angle.
It has an angle, but then the idea would also like not to use electricity, so you can replace the current toilets, which is just like water in, water out. So you do the same, but no flush, so it will be more like a continuous jet of water coming from inside.
So if there's no flush, it's continuous, so it keeps running.
When you're on it, yeah.
When you're on it, okay. And
so the idea, because the flush is like this problem of like it's sending a lot of water at once, but sometimes it's too much, and sometimes it's not enough. So then you flush again. So in the end, it's never perfect. And why it is happening at the end? Why do you keep your turd floating, right? It's just like all these things. Like, I don't know. Some toilets are really bad. Like some countries even worse. When I think it's in Germany. No, is it in Germany? They have this flat.
I hate that.
So you shit on a flat surface. It's like,
why? I never understood.
Just love. I guess they just love stains. I don't know. Yeah. So also one other thing, I met this company a long time ago, and they're making coatings, so you can spray your toilets, the bowl, and it's got some nano hairs. Basically, it makes the surface very slippery.
Yeah, and you use it once, and it lasts a long time.
So it could be like also like in a factory, you do it like this. So when you get your toilets, everything is like super slippery, so you don't have stains anymore, and it's actually also very much better for health reason. You know, every time you flush, you have actually this thing called shit, I forgot the name, but basically the effect of the flush on your turd is making like you have some germs. It's actually bad, you know. It's like not supposed to have
germs
shit splashing.
Yeah.
But that's what's happening. Plumes. It's called plumes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know too much about toilets.
No, but it's amazing. You can tell that you're a very passionate person, and you put thought into these things, and that's good to challenge the status quo. Like, that's how we improve.
Yeah. Thank you. You'll be I'll put you on my list.
Yes, absolutely. We talked a little bit about the definition of co-living, and I want to end this episode by asking, what does co-living mean to you?
Okay, yeah. So, how to keep it like simple? Co-living for me would be, I would say, happy together.
Oh, okay. That's good. I like it.
It's 2 words. I mean, it's not always about being happy, but just when you're together, when you are as a group, you cannot be happy alone.
Yeah.
You can, but
yeah, it's very difficult because maybe you have a bad day, but then somebody has a good day, and then you balance it out, and they bring you out of this.
Yeah. Like I like this quote, like, bad day at a co-living is still better than a good day at the office. Something.
Okay.
I don't know who said that, but yeah. Who said? I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and no, 2 days ago, but like this girl was a big explorer, like Swiss explorer, old lady when she died a long time ago, and she was saying like happiness is what is it? She said like being together, but when you're in harmony, like at a group. So yeah, it's the idea of being together, but also like together and being in harmony. For me, I stay with happy together.
Okay. Well, it has been a pleasure having this talk
you,
with you. Very diverse topics.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you for the chat.
No worries.
Different
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah, well, this has been another episode of Colivers Club powered by Melon. Thank you, Theo, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.